What's up YouTube, my name is Adrian from MMOSWORLD and we are going to be taking a look at the top 5 crowdfunded MMOs that you should be excited for. Crowdfunded MMORPGs are all the rage these days and it's a trend that's been picking up and gaining momentum. The power is in the player base and these new savvy game developers know that the most effective way to market their projects are on crowdfunded websites like Kickstarter. There, they can show off their early builds, put up marketing collaterals and answer all kinds of questions about their games for the price of nothing. To date, the games on this list have raised about $10 million between them, and from what is being promised, you should be excited. Let's begin. At number 5 is Ship of Heroes. This is being called the spiritual successor to City of Heroes. It's a superhero MMORPG that places character customization and world building at its heart. The premise of the game is that all players begin on the ship, which gradually adds levels and will even dock at new places like mining colonies and other off-world areas. All the while, your character grows in levels, partake in PvE, and build fun power sets for combat. While the Kickstarter campaign was cancelled earlier this year, donations and crowdfunds are still going on directly on their website. The game plans to relaunch the campaign soon, so if you want a modern reimagined City of Heroes, then this is the game to look out for. At number 4 is Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen has it all. Huge sums of funding, a group of inspirational developers, and a great premise. The game is being made with today's tech, but gameplay and setting takes place in the wonderful atmospheres with mechanics from old MMORPGs from years ago. Simply put, a lot of players are looking forward to old systems that made MMORPGs what they are today. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen will have classic classes and old school zone-to-zone movement, so no flashy open persistent worlds, which could be appealing for all those nostalgia players. But the best part for these nostalgia hunters is probably the inclusion of classic camping. Remember the old Ultima Online days when players would group up and head to a challenging zone, set up a foothold and pull monsters back to it to gain loot and experience? Yes, that's what the developers of Pantheon are going to be bringing back. At number 3 is Camelot Unchained. This MMO needs no introduction. Well, at least its predecessor doesn't. Dark Age of Camelot is a classic MMO that is still around. I've had many great memories playing it and will remember it forever. The brutal difficulty, the amount of sandbox adventures my friends and I went on, they were all awesome. So when Camelot Unchained was announced, many people followed its campaign closely. The promise of huge realm versus realm PvP is mouth-watering. The developers have also reiterated that it is a core of the game, not just some mechanic added in just for the sake of having PvP. But what else is there to expect? Player-driven economies and races based on history too, such as the Vikings, Celts, and the Arthurs are in it. I'll say it again, I can't wait for this game to come out. At number 2 is Crowfall. Quote, "We don't expect or actually want 50% of the WoW players to come. All they would do is torture us to change the game to make it like World of Warcraft and we do not want that." End quote. When a game sets a statement like that as a precursor, you can immediately tell that they mean business. Crowfall is so different from the theme park MMO in every way imaginable. For starters, there's permanent death and dying worlds. The game centers around PvP among players and they get to age their characters. You can even die from old age or watch your world burn from death and destruction. The awesome part is how when that happens, you start all over again on a brand new world with a brand new character. The concept is super interesting, but it has other attractive factors too. The art style is unlike the modern MMO where the graphics are crisp and highly textured. Crowfall is somewhere between WildStar and Guild Wars 2. The animations are top-notch and the developers are doing a good job keeping all backers up to date on things. The game is about 70% done and we're hoping to see this one released sometime before the end of 2017 or early 2018. Now before we get to our number 1 spot, here are some honorable mentions. We have Chronicles of Ilaria, which has a great aging system which is interesting for an MMO. And then there's Richard Garrett's Shroud of the Avatar, which is somewhat out of the crowdfunding stage, but it appears to be tanking according to many sources on failed promises and amount of money raised versus the final product. At number 1 is Ashes of Creation. Is the Ashes hype justified? Yes. With over $3 million in funding secured, this MMO is taking the industry by storm. It promises a living sandbox world that changes and adapts to the actions of the players and the community. It's got a AAA design and it looks like a real polished game world with fluid combat mechanics and crisp graphics that most modern MMOs can be proud of. And most importantly, lots of players stand firmly behind Ashes of Creation because of how it plans to challenge the MMO stereotype. Not all MMOs need to be theme park, and that's a common theme found in all these crowdfunded MMOs. The game will even launch with a subscription model, which is bold in a free-to-play dominated generation. We are excited for Ashes of Creation, so what about you? And there you have it, folks. Those are our top 5 crowdfunded MMOs to look forward to. Which MMOs do you think should also make the list? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments section below. For more on MMORPGs, hit that subscribe button and check us out at MMOSWORLD.com. As ever, I'm Adrian from MMOSWORLD, signing out.